The arena lights dimmed to a cold blue glow as Captain Ralkesh of the Varn Dominion reviewed the combat profiles of his newest prisoners, 2 humans captured during a border skirmish. Their weapons had been confiscated, their armor stripped, and their hands bound in magnetic restraints. By all tactical logic, they should have been harmless. Yet something in the humans' eyes unsettled him. They didn't look afraid, they looked eager. Ralkesh flicked his forked tongue in irritation. Humans, he muttered. Primitive species. Overestimates its own strength. High Commander Zalvori scoffed from the observation deck. We will break them quickly. They are fragile without their devices. But as the restraints were removed and the humans, Sergeant Mason Hale and Corporal Ria Torres, stepped into the arena, Ralkesh sensed a shift in the air. The watching aliens, soldiers of various species, leaned forward in anticipation. Gladiatorial exhibitions were common. The Federation often tested prisoners this way before reassigning them to labor camps. The humans stood calm, rolling their shoulders, loosening their necks. They were warming up. Ralkesh frowned. Why do they prepare? They have no claws, no fangs, no exoskeleton. Perhaps ritual behavior, Zalvori said dismissively. The steel gate slammed open, releasing a hulking 6-armed Dravox warrior. Its chitinous plating gleamed under the lights as it roared loud enough to rattle the arena floor. The crowd roared back, confident the humans would last less than a minute. The humans exchanged a glance. You take the left, I'll take the right, Mason asked. Ria grinned. Race you. Then they moved, not retreating, not cowering, charging. Ralkesh's eyes widened. They're closing the distance? Every species in the Dominion knew the Dravox's advantage was in reach and brute force. Charging toward it was insanity, unless you knew something the Dravox didn't. Mason slid under the first swing, hooking his leg behind the creature's knee joint. Raya leapt, twisting midair, slamming down with an elbow into a pressure gap between plates. Years of training, gravity drills, impact conditioning, anatomy targeting, channeled into a fluid assault. The Dravox stumbled. Confusion rippled through the alien spectators. Humans weren't supposed to move like that. The Dravox roared again, angrier now, and lunged. Mason ducked and rolled, planting his foot into a hinge joint at an impossible angle. Raya followed, striking the creature's throat ridge with the heel of her palm. The Dravox gagged. What is this? Ralkesh whispered. Zalvori stared, speechless. They fight without weapons. They trained for this. Down in the arena, Mason wiped blood from a split lip and smiled. It's telegraphing. Wide swings. Overconfident. Raya nodded. Aim for the mobility joints. We take it down, then go for the handler. The Dravox lunged again, faster this time, furious. Ria pivoted, grabbed one of its arms, and used its own momentum to flip onto its back. She wrapped her legs around its throat ridge and squeezed. Mason slammed his fist, knuckles already bleeding, into a soft gap beneath the creature's ribs. Again. Body weight, precision, and conditioning converged in strikes that were never meant to break bone, but to break resolve. Cracks formed. Green ichor spilled. The arena went silent. Then, with a rattling scream, the Dravox collapsed, dead. 2 unarmed humans stood over a genetically engineered war beast, and they were barely breathing hard. On the observation deck, the Dominion officers scrambled. This is impossible. Humans lack natural weapons. They must possess hidden augmentations. Scan them, Zalvori barked. A trembling technician ran the scans and paled. Sir, they're baseline. No implants, no enhancers. They're just... His voice cracked. Trained. Ralkesh stared in disbelief. In the Dominion, combat without weapons was unthinkable. Species evolved claws, mandibles, poisonous barbs. The Varn themselves relied on razor forelimbs. Fighting with only flesh? Madness. but the humans had mastered it. The arena doors opened again as 3 armored Varn enforcers marched in, plasma rifles ready. "Humans, surrender!" the lead one hissed. Mason and Rhea exchanged a quiet glance. "3," Mason said, stretching his neck. "Feels unfair. For them or for us?" Rhea smirked. Moments later, the humans were sprinting again, straight toward armed opponents. The Varn opened fire, but the humans zigzagged unpredictably. Mason slid into a low sweep that knocked one Varn flat. Rhea disarmed another with a wrist lock so fast the watching aliens gasped. She snatched the rifle, spun it, and cracked the butt against the Varn's jaw. The third fired wild shots. Mason leapt, tackling him to the ground. A precise chokehold ended the struggle in seconds. The crowd erupted, not in cheers but in terrified whispers. "Unarmed combat. They perfected it. They're engineered for war. No, they trained for it." Ralkesh felt an unfamiliar shiver crawl down his spine. If these two represented typical human soldiers, then humanity's reputation as a young, fragile species was catastrophically wrong. The humans climbed the arena stairs toward the observation deck, calm, steady, purposeful. Ralkesh's claws twitched. Zalvori backed away, voice trembling. "Stop them! Seal the doors!" Too late. Mason and Rhea stepped inside. "My name is Sergeant Mason Hale," he said evenly. "This is Corporal Torres. You've attacked our ships, captured our crew, and forced combat trials." Rhea folded her arms. "We'd like to negotiate the release of all human prisoners. Now!" Zalvori sputtered. "You're monsters!" Mason raised an eyebrow. "We're human. We adapt. When the universe gives us claws, plasma weapons, or monsters, we train until they're not a threat anymore." Rhea added, "We don't need natural weapons. We become the weapon." The Dominion officers froze. No one dared move, not even Ralkesh. Finally, Ralkesh leaned forward slowly. "Humans, you fight like no species we have seen. You mastered combat without tools." Mason shrugged. "We came from a planet where everything tries to kill you. We learned to hit back. And to protect our own," Rhea said. Ralkesh looked at Zalvori, then at the humans, then at the defeated fighters in the arena far below. A realization settled over him. The Dominion had underestimated humanity, badly. He bowed his head. "Very well. We will release your people and escort you to your vessel. No further hostility." Mason and Rhea exchanged a satisfied nod. "See?" Rhea whispered as they turned toward the exit. "Told you we didn't need guns." Mason chuckled. "Guns are faster, but this was more fun." In the reports that spread across the galaxy afterward, one line echoed through every military council, every admiralty, every intelligence briefing. Humans are dangerous even when unarmed, especially when unarmed. And in the quiet corners of the Dominion, where strategists reevaluated potential threats, a new doctrine emerged, one that would forever change the balance of power. Never fight a human at close range. You won't get a second chance.